Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Fallout recap season 2, episode 6. Steve, how you doing?
Really good. Really excited to talk about this episode, and yeah, just kicking off the week, hanging out with you again, talking everything about Fallout.
Always the best way to kick off the week, just hanging out, talking about some good Fallout storyline that is happening here. As this week's episode starts off with a scene of Barv. That's kind of insane, and it's pretty much what the real world is. We're like, hey, before we attack this country, we want to grab some lunch and talk about what we're going to be doing.
Absolutely,
doing. You're chowing down like a ham sandwich. You're like, yeah, so we're gonna bomb how many people?
yeah. It's quite absurd where she's sitting down in the Voltech office space, kind of just hearing these pitches, these horrifying pitches of like, hey, well, there's not gonna be enough water for everyone, so we can really dictate who's gonna run out of water faster. Well, just over lunch, just casual lunch,
just casual conversation, and then we will be notified when who has water or not. So which option do you want?
What a little treat. What a delight.
It was such an insane way to see it. I'm like, that's pretty much how the world is. I'm sure they're mowing down on some ribs or prime rib and steak eye, and they're like, yeah, so who we bombing again? Okay, yeah, no problem. So it was a very very
the great line was they're planning out the banners, and they're like, well, this is a 5-ton nuke. This is what the explosion looks like. But the imagery of a 10-ton nuke would be much better. But in reality, it's only going to be a bunch of 5 tons.
And then he was talking about the girl next to me, oh, she doesn't think this is more impactful, so I think we should go with this one. I'm like, wait, what?
Just so depraved, but there's so much comedy to it.
It is, yes, absolutely, for sure. And then we spin right into our friend who's kind of stuck and slowly turning, the ghoul. Happily stuck. No one's paying attention to this guy stuck on a pole here. Like, hey, a little help. People just walking by him. His dog took his hat and be like, I'm out. Yeah, I can't help you, buddy.
I mean, this is just the universe we exist in, where it's not uncommon to see a person struggling to their death and everything. But yeah,
he's lucky there's no one. People have no cell phones. People be my leg is stuck here. Can you help me out? 1 second here, buddy. Let me just
let me get this for TikTok. I mean, it's an interesting position for him to be placed in, and I think throughout the course of this episode, we see the intermixed with the flashbacks, but I think it's a really great low point for this character that we've seen thus far, of him having to essentially struggle and tear himself off this pole, or at least
no one's there for him.
Exactly. He's all alone, and he knows that in order to eventually, hopefully, get back with his family, he's gonna have to just do it himself and physically try and pull himself off this giant pole.
Insane, which he almost able to do it, which is crazy.
Very commendable.
You know what? I'm also bringing to the point with him. There was, once again, ever since he mentioned his makeup here, there's a certain scene where he's in, and I just kept looking at the nose, and I was like, something is off with that. And they didn't. They did not cover that nose properly. It looked like it was the canvas was still still attached to his nose and everything.
There's something about it, and again, we bring this up almost every episode, and it's just the smallest gripe that I have.
So evident, yeah.
But it does feel like they changed something with the prosthetic or with the green screening, and it's only evident in very specific angles, like you said, in many, and I'm saying many, it looks fine. I have no issue with it, but it's sometimes when he turns, or you're supposed to be, quote unquote, be able to see through the green screened nose and everything. I'm like, oh, I can tell that.
Yeah, someone left the feathering on in Photoshop,
something like that, right? It just does not look like it should. I feel but again, it's the smallest nitpick I have. But every single time it happens,
this one I was so distracted, especially with the person he was talking to. I was like, this nose is not done properly. I can't unsee it. I can unsee it. But we have Lucy waking up. Her father left her in a lovely little bunk. I'm not her own little place, you know, with her lovely dress ready to go, and then she's out and about, ready to clock two guys in the head with a fire hydrant, not fire hydrant, you know what?
Extinguisher.
Extinguisher, yes.
Yeah.
That actually takes out fire as well, but and then they just walk by like nothing because they're under some mind control. The dad has been busy. You think he was? He got the snake oils man as his first subject. No, he's been busy collecting.
He escalated real quick.
Yeah, he was not playing around for sure. So. And then we are flipping through to Thaddeus and Max ditching the armor almost for and I can't believe they're only now ditching his armor. I'm like, you think so much time has gone through? Like it was like nighttime with like Lucy and the ghoul, and when they met up with the death claws.
Yeah,
and these guys are only now ditching the suit.
Well, I don't know if time is running in conjunction, because the first time we see them in the scene, you can still see the remnants of the base behind them, like
it was slowly falling down.
So I feel like we're still within that same day time period. I don't think too much time has passed in between the last time we saw them and now. But it is, again, it kind of resolves a problem, or not a problem, but like something that I had thought of like, oh, now they're just going to have this power armor with them, and then obviously they kind of take that chess piece off the table. And be like, oh, they can track us, et cetera. But I do love Thaddeus being like super bummed about it. He's like, oh man, like, do we really have to get rid of this? Putting those two characters together, I'm just super glad we've stuck around with these two, because I just find their camaraderie and like their banter and those two characters together really, really, like, it's very funny. And I think we'll touch on it later, but like I think where they end up in this episode, I'm like, oh, this is this is going to be a great dynamic moving forward.
100% it is. And then he wanted to sell the fusion. He's like, hey, we should just probably just sell this thing.
And Maximus is like, no,
what are you talking about? All right, okay, you know what? And then we have our lovely dance number by the inbred group. Support group. And you know what? I gotta figure out here. I don't understand what's happening in this storyline with this group here. Like, what is the purpose of this storyline? Like, they take up some good spots here. They had their own dance number as well. They even closed the box to a 4:3 ratio as well. What's happening here?
Yeah, there was some interesting, like I love the song, the number and everything. I love the editing, like you said, like playing with the aspect ratios was really cool cinematically. But I do feel that since, oh man, and now the name is escaping me, the brother. What's the brother's name?
I don't remember.
I'm doing such a bad job. Once he left the vault and went kind of like on his journey and everything with those that were Norm. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ever since he kind of left the vault, I'm like, I don't really care about what's going on here. Yeah. Like, I think there's some interesting threads, like everything that we talked about an episode or two ago, with the two overseers kind of talking and everything. But yeah, I do agree.
This episode was needed.
Yeah. This episode, I'm like, I don't really know or care, but I'm sure that once we get to kind of like the other shoe dropping and figuring out exactly what the purpose of the storyline is, I feel like it's going to be interesting. But I just feel like, out of everything going on, every time we get back to this and it's like, oh, we don't have enough resources for your stupid parties.
Yeah.
And we're getting
how you not understand, and like, you're like, okay, well, this makes sense.
Yeah. Or like the posters for the marriage that's happening with Buddy. I'm like, I don't know if I really care, but I'm sure that by the time we get
he's like, what a marriage? What are you talking about? And I just remember the guy's like, oh, I have something important. You want to know a secret? And he's like, yeah, I do. I don't even like checkers, bro. And he's like, what?
Like, it is funny. Don't get me wrong, but I think out of everything the show is offering, I think this is like the the one that the plot line that I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't
and
know.
especially with this one, like you'd be like, okay, we don't have the resources for you guys to do this. He's like, fine, you can kill the group, but you're not taking our snack budget. I'm like, bro, your snacks is killing. What's going on here?
So I do think that there was one interesting line in there, and I think it brings up like a good, like almost like philosophical thing within the Fallout universe, is that like he was essentially like, oh, this is my American right to have, you know, water, resources and everything. This isn't like, I'm still American given that I'm still in this vault. My father, but like my parents were American, my grandparents were American. Like we were still given like human rights, even though we're in this vault. I thought that was pretty interesting, but I feel like everything surrounding it was kind of like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. One thing, like, okay, there's a lot of things we can't talk about.
Correct.
But I'm going to try to dance along the lines here. I have a question for you here. I feel like this show does a lot of, hey, we got this person in the show, like a shock value. And then it kind of makes, and like for me, I'm like, oh my God, this guy or girls in the show, like what's their role? And I feel like they just do that for like one scene. And then you never see that person ever again. And I feel like they're doing that a lot. They did it with the guy with Severance. I'm like, okay, what's his purpose? I still don't even know like what's going on, what his purpose is. And then
the guy from Severance was,
you're like,
the guy from Severance was and has been pretty involved ever since like season 1.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a mainstay, but I do agree. Like Macaulay Culkin, for instance.
Yes, for example, perfect example.
Is a great example where I'm like, okay, that was cool, but I like leading into the season, I was like, oh, we were going to get a lot more Macaulay Culkin, and maybe we do. We still have 2 episodes left. We haven't seen the 2 episodes.
I don't know if he's dead or not.
in terms of like advanced screeners, we got up until this episode.
Yes,
probably for some good reasons, because the last 2 episodes, maybe things pop off. I don't know.
And
maybe he returns. I really don't know.
To see what we say or not. They're like, let's test these people up.
They've gone ahead and just spoiled.
You don't get the link.
No, but I do agree with you, and I am wondering, like with specific characters like the ones we brought up, whether or not their role is going to be a little more involved, because even a couple episodes ago when Norm comes across that little the 2 women.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They were from season 1 and everything. So it's like, oh, I wonder, there are some rules in the show that are kind of like, well, you're one off for now, but we might come back and revisit you. And it's kind of like a familiar face, kind of like building out the universe, especially with the snake oil salesman. He was in for like half an episode back in season 1, but he returns and he kind of is more involved in everything.
He has a more bigger role. Yeah.
Exactly. So I do wonder how many of these characters that we're kind of being introduced to throughout season 2 may end up coming back in the latter, 2 episodes, or maybe even season 3 and stuff like that, but who knows? But I do agree that they do a really good job with keeping the core cast front and center, and then having like a ton of really interesting side characters intermixed.
It does help out with the trailer, that's for sure.
That's totally true. Yeah, there's a lot of good buzz when they're like, "Holy shit, Macaulay Culkin,
he's in this! I gotta watch what's going on here." And then of course Lucy is ready to lock up her dad. Did you finish reading this book? She's like, "No, I've been busy surviving. What are you talking about here?" And they're walking through the whole vault tech that they're in right now, and everyone's having a good old time, and no one wants to go back out there. Like, I think that was like one of the funniest lines out there, where the people are like, "Hey, you're all free now." They're like, "Do we have to be?"
Yeah.
And then 2 rogue guys went on the control, and they tussle and forces Lucy's hand to, I guess, up the voltage on them in a way to control them.
I think it's just to turn on the chips, right? So I think, and to me, like, this felt very Fallout. It was like, oh, I just stumbled across a side quest, or this is part of, like, this is very much like, what are you going to do as the player, as in this RPG? Are you going to, like, it's a moral conundrum that Fallout games really do try to get across to the player of, like, well, these characters, they're being mind controlled, but is it for the greater good, or do you let these characters or these people, like, maintain their humanity, maintain their own free will, but they're going to kill each other. So it's what is this? Like, what's the morality here? And I think that's so interesting. And ultimately, you know, we do see that, you know, in order to save this one person, Lucy makes the call of like, no, now they're both going to be like mind controlled. I thought it was super interesting.
Yeah, after he's getting like stapled in the head a couple of times and everything, and it kind of, you know, I just thought of like, it kind of brings up a question, like, are they aware of what's going on? Because they know that like they're safe where they are now,
right?
Do they know that, or have like a inkling of like, oh, I'm not able to like fully control myself? Because they're well aware that like, hey, I'm safe here, I don't want to go back out there. So is there like some form of like, hey, wherever you're doing to me, I'm okay with?
I assume, I think so, in some way, because I mean, so the snake oil salesman that we saw last episode, he was able to leave, right? And he had no problem leaving and everything like that. I assume that by using the microchip, they're almost given like a like put into a euphoric state where they're like, I'm happy in this mindset. I'm happy doing this and everything, as long as, you know, I can retain this feeling or retain, you know, whatever this is doing. I kind of want to keep
giving me
exactly.
Keep pumping it into me.
Exactly. So I think it's like a mix of, you know, like euphoria plus like a little bit of brainwashing, I assume. Yeah, I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So she got them under like control and everything, and then, you know, manager perks, they have the front door open, so they're leaving the door open if they choose to leave or not. Which I don't know. Like, once again, we don't know what's happening because this is up to access that we have. Well, never mind. Oh, hello, Sami.
Hello. Great episode, right?
Yeah,
perfect episode. Yeah, we're talking about the point with Lucy and her dad with the workers and everything, about them leaving the door open, and I feel, and like, once again, I was gonna say that this is up to the access point that we have, so we have no idea what's gonna happen in episode 7 and 8. I think, like, I don't know if they're hinting that something could happen with them leaving the door open as well. So a little roach farm attack, maybe. I don't know. So
I mean, it's kind of like they're still trapped. So unless you turn the little thing off,
that's right.
They're not walking out the door. Yeah.
But we were just saying that, like, I feel like they have some awareness of what's going on. Maybe they're getting some like dopamine feeling, like, hey, we just staying here makes me happy. I don't want to go back out there because I know what's out there, in a way, you know. This was, and then I guess very quickly we're allowed to mention that Cooper had Hank, drugged them, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I can say, you know. And then we quickly go right to the dog finding Max and Thaddeus. And then that leads them to the ghoul, which this could be a very dynamic group of
characters.
Clowns, I guess characters. Yeah.
I'm super interested to see how these 3 characters play off. And I think one of the cool things of having the show as a whole is like the trifecta of having, you know, Lucy, the ghoul, and Maximus. They're all different characters. They're all very different in their personalities, and contrast with each other very, very well. And in season 1, you know, we saw Lucy and Maximus together for quite a while, and that was a very interesting you know, combination. And then, you know, into season 2, we saw the ghoul and Lucy together while Maximus was on his own. We've never seen Maximus and the ghoul together. Throw in Thaddeus as well, and I'm so jazzed about this, because I feel like within an episode the ghoul will immediately hate Thaddeus.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm just really stoked to see those 2 characters interact, because I think that's going to be a great dichotomy of energies and characters.
Yes, 100%. Sami, did you want to add anything here since you just came on?
I guess to kind of contribute to what Steve was just saying, I hope that we get to see like all 4 of them together, because I think like the tomfoolery there will just be like some really epic scenes, and hopefully set up for the next season. We'll see.
Yeah, totally. Like I wonder how long the separation between the Ghoul and Lucy will now be, given that Lucy's kind of on her own side quest now. And, you know, I wonder if they'll save like some sort of like final group of all of them for season 3. But yeah, I'm interested to see, like, I always love like seeing the chess pieces move and see which character ends up. Is the same thing with Game of Thrones back then, you know, like seeing like one character goes on a side quest and ends up, you know, like, you know, the Hound with Arya and stuff like that. It's like, okay, we're in this for like a season or 2. I'm super down with this. And then they get split up and then they go meet the other characters. And I'm like, I really like that kind of storytelling aspect.
Yeah. So you don't think they're gonna meet up again this season?
I feel like at the end they
maybe
will.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
I don't know. It's being very interesting because now she's with her dad, right? So, and I don't see her dad going like anywhere.
I have theories that I'll say like offline.
Okay.
But yeah, I have theories of like maybe how the final 2 episodes kind of play out and where we end up. But I think it's very interesting. This I think is like one of those episodes where it's like, oh, and again, to go back to the analogy of like chess, is like we're clearly setting up a whole bunch of chess pieces just for some sort of finale. Like we're really, this is a setup episode, but I thought it was like super enthralling.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that the inbred group part is setting up for something. That's all the storylines. That's the weakest one for me. So
yeah, I agree.
It's happening right now. So Sami agrees as well, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
No, I will say like the Uranium Fever, like that was definitely a highlight because I love that.
That was,
right?
The song was very catchy. I definitely agree. But everything else, I'm like, what is going on in this group? And there's a lot of squishy sounds of people eating. I'm like, I don't need to hear this, you know. So, but yeah, with that being said, that is another episode down, and we're gonna see. I assume they're just gonna I assume episode 7 is just going to continue on. Or I don't know. There's like a little break they didn't announce or anything like that. So
no, I think we're rolling right into it. So
rolling right into it. Week. So we'll see what's going on next week, and we'll be back here with all of you with our little recap, and check you out later.